Hello, hello. Are we live? Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi, Ilona. Hello, Melania, twoja metodyczka. Hello, Joe. Hello. Really happy to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we've got a very special live because we've got 40 difficult words for my 40th birthday. So here, on this slide, we actually have an interesting word, right? We've got 40th. So it's not 40th, it's 40th. 40th birthday. Happy birthday, Agnieszka, thank you so much. Ilona, witaj w gronie 40+. No tak, jestem 40+. Od paru dni, bo od poniedziałku tak naprawdę I turned 40 on Monday. So I'm 40 and, what is it, Wednesday today, and 2 days. And also I've noticed that my internet connection is a bit bad today because there's actually a storm in my area. So I'm really sorry if it's a bit slow or if it's cutting, because I can see it's cutting a bit. Can you let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me all right? Because I'm just worried that this internet connection is going to be a bit patchy today, okay? So just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, Epco. Thank you so much, and hello to everyone who's joined today. We're expecting quite a few people today, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, okay? We'll see how it goes. Okay, Joe says, I can see you and I can hear you. Okay, brilliant, brilliant. I'm glad we can see and hear you. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really happy to see you here today. And obviously I've got a cup of tea with milk, yeah, with a dash of milk. I don't know if you can see it here, yeah, but there's a dash of milk here as well. So yes, so thank you so much for joining. And today we're going to be talking about 40 difficult English words for my 40th birthday, okay? So obviously these words are quite tricky, not because we don't know them, right? It's not like we don't know these words, but it's because no one's really told us how to pronounce them, okay? So today we've got no theory, no frameworks, just sort of pure and sometimes painful pronunciation practice, okay? So as I said, we're going to go through 40 words that Polish speakers very often find genuinely confusing and difficult, yeah? So we're going to split them into 5 rounds, okay? So we're going to split them into 5 rounds. Round 1, 2, 3, and 5. And then if we have time, we're going to have a final boss round as well, okay? So for those of you who are brave enough to actually, take a look at some really tricky words, okay? Now, let's see how you do, okay? So before I pronounce the word for you, I want you to try it yourself out loud, okay? So you can say it out loud. You can type in the chat as well. So yeah, just be brave. Try to say things out loud because this is how we learn, okay? And I want you to count your points as well. So for every word you say correctly, you get 1 point. And I want you to count them. And at the end, let me know how many you got right, okay? So I'm going to switch off the comments just for the time being, okay? But I'm going to be looking at them in a minute. Angelica says, happy birthday, my favorite teacher, Lucy. Oh, this is so nice. This is so nice. This is lovely. Thank you so much, Angelica. And thank you so much to everyone who sent me birthday wishes on Instagram as well and via email. It's lovely. It's really amazing. I haven't had time to reply to everyone just yet, but I am going to. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And Joe, thank you so much. I am going to enjoy my cuppa. Cuppa is a very British word for a cup of tea, yeah? So we say a cup of tea, we shorten of very often, and we say cuppa tea, and we shorten it even further, and we say a cuppa. Hello, Zofia, and birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Okay, are we ready? 40 words. and round one, okay? So round one, words that look easy but aren't easy, okay? So all these words that we look at them, they're very, very short, but really, how do we pronounce them? And they're quite, not very easy to pronounce, okay? So we've got 3 words in here with the same vowel sound, okay? So the vowel sound we've got in here, hang on, I'm just trying to get my highlighter. Yes, there you go. Oh, sorry, hang on. Yes, so the vowel sound we've got in here, okay, is the same vowel sound in all 3 words. Can you try and say them out loud just for yourselves right now? And then I'm going to tell you, okay? So the first word, praca albo pracować, drugi wyraz, oczywiście świat, trzeci wyraz, dziewczyna. Try to say them out loud. Okay, number 1, number 2, number 3, Now, let's try them. Remember that this is standard Southern British English. Okay, so in these words, we're not going to pronounce the R sound. We're not going to say work, We don't do that in standard Southern British English, because in standard Southern British English, the R is silent. We don't pronounce it when it comes before a consonant, right? So we're going to say work, work. Ilona says it's easy for your followers, and it's easy for my course participants as well, isn't it, Ilona? Because you're taking part in the pronunciation course. You've taken part in the pronunciation course, actually. Yes, so we've got the sound, very neutral. Work. Next, we've got the same exact situation, but then we've got the O and D. We call this L sound a dark L. World, world. So try to say world, world. I know this one's tricky because sometimes we just get the tongue gets twisted and we just go world, right? So no, let's not do that, okay? Let's keep it very clean and simple. Let's not pronounce the R sound. Let's just go world. World, world, world. And the last word contains only 3 sounds. So we've got G, normal G, like in Polish, G, yeah, girl, girl, girl. That's it, yeah? We don't say girl. No, we don't say girl. No, we say g, l, and the dark L at the end. Girl, girl. Yeah, good. Let's go to the next one. Remember to count your points, okay? Count your points. Now, the next word, skupiać się albo skupienie jako rzeczownik, right? So what's the situation here? I hear it mispronounced all the time as focus or focus, okay? And that could potentially sound rude as well when you're speaking to a native speaker. So try to say this word, okay? Take a look at the IPA transcription as well, because if you want to learn pronunciation well, you need to get to know the IPA transcription, yeah? Because it tells you exactly all the sounds that appear in a word. So you don't have to guess anything. You don't have to look at the spelling. You can just look at the IPA transcription and just go, oh, that's the sound it's supposed to be there. So brilliant, let's go with that. Instead of guessing, okay? Or instead of writing things down the Polish way, right? Because when we write things down using Polish letters, we might get the pronunciation kind of right, but still we won't be able to use the English sounds. So we're still going to be speaking English with Polish pronunciation, yes? So I'm not talking about a Polish accent, because Polish accent is absolutely fine, but if you're just using Polish sounds, because you can't write down English sounds using Polish letters. That's not possible, yeah? Because we don't even have enough letters. So get to know the IPA transcription. It's amazing. It's a brilliant tool. It's really good. So give it a go, okay? Now, let's try this word. Let's say it together. The first vowel sound is O. O, as in, oh no. O. Fo. Fo. And the second one, yeah, it's not kus. There's no U sound. There's a little schwa. Schwa is a brilliant sound because it appears everywhere in English, okay? And it appears almost exclusively in unstressed syllables. So like this one, we stress the first one, fo, yeah? This is the stress mark, IPA stress mark. Focus. Focus. Not focus. No, 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 no. Focus. Focus. Good. Let's go to the next one. Next, we've got a classic, yeah, an absolute classic. So remember that this syllable here, this one, is not pronounced as table, okay? This word on its own is going to be pronounced table, yeah? Like I'm sitting at a table. But because this syllable is unstressed, it's not stressed in this word, we're not going to pronounce it as table, we're going to reduce it and we're going to say tibble, tibble. So we've got the first syllable, which is stressed, comf, with an sound, comf, comfortable, comfortable. So it's not comfortable, no, 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 comfortable, stress on the first syllable, comfortable, yeah? Now, remember that when we practice English pronunciation, there might be 2 or 3 different pronunciation of a particular word. And that's especially true for words that are quite long and have many syllables, because we're quite lazy. People are quite lazy, right? So we don't really want to pronounce all the syllables in a word. But if you're very, very careful and you're speaking very slowly, you might pronounce those syllables. So some people might pronounce this word as comfortable, right? But that's not the usual pronunciation. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it this way, but that's a possibility, okay? So yeah, if you're saying this word, I want you to say comfortable, comfortable, okay? Say it together with me, comfortable, comfortable. Good. Next one. Next, we've got this word. Say it out loud first. How do you say it? It's not interesting or interesting. I hear it sometimes. Interesting, no. The stress is on the first syllable. Interesting. 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 Well, that's interesting. Yeah? Say it with me. Interesting. Interesting. Good. Next one. This one, okay? So when we see this word, we have a tendency to say vehicle. Yeah? A lot of people say it like this. Try to say it the right way. Try to read the IPA transcription. What does it say? First, we know that there's the stress on the first syllable, yeah, because we can see the stress mark. That's the stress mark here, right? This little apostrophe. Now, we've got a long E sound in here as well. So we've got V. The first syllable is a V, and then we've got the schwa. Vehicle. Cool. The last 2 sounds are K and dark L. Cool. Cool. Vehicle. 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 Let's say it together. Say it with me. Vehicle. I ten wyraz oczywiście oznacza pojazd, jakiś tam pojazd. Taki wehikiel, nie? Nie, to jest podobne słowo po polsku oczywiście wehikuł, tak? I ma to podobne konotacje, bo to też jest jakiś tam pojazd, wehikuł czasu, prawda? Ale po angielsku vehicle oznacza pojazd po prostu. Ogólnie pojazd jakiś. Może być samochód, może być autobus. Vehicle. Next one. Okay, that was round one. Okay, easy words that look easy but aren't really easy to pronounce. Let's take a look at round two. Business English nightmares. Okay, so obviously we've got some business-related words that are tricky to pronounce. There are loads of them, but we're gonna take a look at some of them today. So the first one is I can't think of a Polish equivalent for this word. What is it? Can you type it in the chat? What is the meaning of this word? So it is a situation where you're available to do something. Dostępność. When someone's asking you when you are, kiedy jesteś dostępny. So we've got, this is a noun, right? But yes, exactly. Dostępność, yes. Yes, exactly. Dostępność. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, people actually use this word, okay? So we can potentially avoid using it when we speak, okay? But other people are going to pronounce it, are going to say it. So we kind of need to know how to pronounce it as well, okay? So obviously we can say, when are you free, for example, instead of what's your right? So we can try and, sort of go around this word and avoid it. But really, if you want to say this word, just learn the pronunciation, just practice many, many times. And I'm going to give you a little tip, okay? Because if you want to learn how to pronounce something, and that's going to be obvious, okay? That's going to be so obvious. And you're going to say, well, obviously we have to do it this way, Lucy. Why are you telling us this? I'm telling you this little tip because a lot of people don't realize how pronunciation works, okay? Many people don't realize that pronunciation is a very physical thing, okay? So obviously we've got a lot of muscles in our face, yeah? The tongue, this is the tongue, yeah? The tongue is just one huge muscle and we need to be able to train it a certain way. So if you're learning pronunciation, it isn't enough that you hear a word and you say it a couple of times, okay? You need to say it hundreds of times before you get it right, especially if it's tricky for you. So what I tell my students in my courses, right? I tell them to repeat a certain word, a problematic word, at least 10 to 20 times, 3 times a day, okay? And do it for a week. And don't do it with too many words, just do it with 1 or 2 words, okay? Because you don't really want to get overwhelmed and you don't really want to be working on too many things at a time. So identify a word, for example, today, identify a word or 2 words max, okay? And for the next week, identify your most problematic words, 2 words max, okay? And for the next week, I want you to practice 3 times a day, okay? Saying this word 10 to 20 times, okay? So let's take a look at this word, okay? So first, we need to locate the main stress. Whenever you have a very long word, you need to decide which syllable is the stressed one, which syllable is the most important one, the most prominent one, right? So in this situation, we've got be, because we can see the stress mark, yeah? This is the stress mark. So we've got be. Let's read the rest. Let's read the end of the word. Ability. The stressed syllable is be. Ability. Now we've got this mark in here as well, and this is the secondary stress, okay? So they is going to be quite an important syllable as well. So we've got availability. We've got a lot of l sounds, right? But if we break it down into syllables, it's much easier. So we've got availability, availability, yeah? And then we just add a little schwa at the beginning, availability, availability. What's your availability? Availability. And now you need to repeat this word. If you decide that this is the most problematic word for you, you need to repeat it 10 to 20 times a session. So essentially, you're going to be saying this word about 60 times in total in one day. Now, times 7 days, right? That's a lot of repetition. And that's what you need to do because your muscles need to get used to the pronunciation of this word. So they need to get used to the position, the right position for this word, yeah? And then you can build on that and you can start building some sentences with it as well, yes? So we go availability, availability. What's your availability? Yeah? Are you saying these words with me? Tell me you're saying these words with me. Okay, let's move on because we actually have a lot of words to cover and we don't have, we don't have all the time in the world, right? So let's go to the next one. Hierarchia, taka jak w firmie. Tak, dobrze mówię, w firmie. Hierarchia. So po polsku oczywiście mówimy hierarchia, right? But in English, we have the stress on the first syllable. So we've got higher, 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 like higher up, yeah? So you've got something high and then something is higher. So we've got higher, ra, with the long R sound. Hierarchy, key, tak jak klucz, prawda? Hierarchy, hierarchy, higher, ra, ra, jak Bóg Słońca ra, ra, hierarchy. Mamy wyżej, Bóg Słońca ra i klucz. Hierarchy, hierarchy, hierarchy. Say it with me. Hierarchy, hierarchy. Very, very good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one, obviously, po polsku mamy statystyka, prawda, czy statystyki. But in English, we stress the second syllable. So let's try it. Say it out loud first, and then I'm going to say it. But I'm going to take a sip of my lovely, lovely tea. Okay, are we ready? So it's statistics. The first syllable is unstressed, so we've got the schwa sound. Statistics. 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 Yes, very good. So the t is the stressed syllable. Statistics. 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 Very good. Let's move on to the next one. This is an absolute nightmare, honestly. So many people get it wrong. And even advanced people, even advanced people get it wrong. For some reason, we have a tendency to misplace the stress. And it is because English word stress is all over the place, right? So when we're learning a new word, we really need to learn the placement of the stress as well. Because in Polish, word stress usually falls on the penultimate syllable, czyli w języku polskim zazwyczaj, nie zawsze, mamy akcent na drugą sylabę od końca, right? But in English, it can change, okay? So we can have any syllable could be stressed potentially, okay? So in this situation, in this word, the stress goes on the second syllable, right? Say it. Try to say it out loud first, okay? What is it? Ready? It's not development. A lot of people say it like that. No, forget about okay? It's not that, it's development. So the first syllable is unstressed with a short I sound, d. Then we've got ve is the stressed syllable, deve, and then we get bored. Development. I can't be bothered, yeah? So development. Good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one is an absolute nightmare. Okay, so if you have problems, well, obviously we're going to practice how to say this word, but remember that you can always say a business owner, right? Or something like that. Just try to avoid this word altogether. But obviously the perfect situation is where you learn the word and you use it confidently, because it's not as tricky as it looks, okay? It looks horrible, but it's not that bad. And obviously it's from French, so you know the pronunciation is going to be quite tricky, but it's going to be English as well, because obviously we take in English we take a word from another language and we change the pronunciation to work with the English rules, right? It's quite interesting how it happens with other words as well. So what we've got in here, we've got en pronounced as, oh, hang on. No, you try to say it first. You say it first, and then I say it, okay? Yes. So this word obviously means przedsiębiorca in Polish, right? And the first two letters, en, are pronounced as on, with an o sound, on. Then we've got tr, very similar to the letters, right? On, tr, pr, once again, the same thing, yeah? On, tr, pr, and then we've got the stressed syllables, that's the last syllable. It's like we get rid of the last two letters, right? And we make the long. So it's entrepreneur. We make it n. We go down, very neutral. N. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. So really, it's not that complicated, is it? Because it follows the letters pretty much. Just the first bit is, instead of n, it's on, tre, 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 pre, pr, entrepre, and then we make the very long. Entrepreneur. Remember to say it out loud with me. This is how we practice pronunciation. Okay. Next one. This was actually a request. Yes, exactly. That's a really good comment. Thank you so much for it. It's not that complicated once you know how to do it. Hallelujah. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what it is. Okay. So if you learn pronunciation, if you work out all the rules, okay, or if you learn all the rules, because in my programs, in my courses, I obviously teach the rules as well, and we look at spelling and the relationship between letters and sounds and all this. Once you learn how to do it, it becomes so much easier. You look at a word and you're much more likely to say it correctly. Yeah. So it's not that complicated once you know how to do it. Exactly. Thank you so much for this comment. Okay, so what's the situation here? We've got something interesting going on, okay? Because we've got the CH letters, but we pronounce them as a K sound, yeah? And this is because this word comes from Greek. And most words with a Greek origin are going to be pronounced with a K sound when there's CH in the spelling, okay? So we know how to pronounce this sound. It's not going to be ch or any archi, tech, no. But that's the same with many other words, with you know, when the words that come from Greek. Yeah. First, we've got the letters AR. Yeah, and this is the stressed syllable. Yeah, here we can see that this is the stressed syllable. The first syllable is the stressed one. And because we've got AR, we're not going to pronounce the R sound. We're just going to have a long R sound. R, R, R. And then we've got the K sound. Actually, we've got kit. Yeah, R, K, K, R, K. Texture. So we've got texture, yeah? So we've got a lot of words ending in T-U-R-E and similar, like nature, for example, yeah? Pronounced with the ch sound. So that's something that happens quite a lot. So we've got that situation exactly in here. So we've got architecture, yeah? Architecture. Sorry, I misplaced the stress for a minute because I was trying to emphasize this the syllable. Yeah. So we've got architecture, architecture. Yeah. So make sure it's not archi, archie, nothing like that. No, it's architecture, architecture. Good. Let's go to the next one. What's the situation here? Try to say this word out loud first. Try to say it out loud. Now, what does this word mean? Because it's quite tricky in terms of meaning as well, because we obviously have the word kolega in Polish, right? But we don't use this word the same way as the Polish kolega, because that's not exactly the meaning. The meaning of this word is co-worker, czyli kolega, ale z pracy. Czyli nie powiemy o jakimś kumplu z klatki obok, że to jest he's my colleague. No, because colleague means someone you work with. Yeah? So remember, that's a very nice false friend. Yes, and that's another French word. Yes, exactly. It comes from French, definitely. So what do we have in here? First, we've got the stress. Yeah, stress goes on the first syllable, right? And the second syllable is pronounced with a long E sound, yeah? E. And we completely remove the UE letters, yeah? We don't really care about them. We don't pronounce them in any particular way, okay? They're important. They're there in the spelling and they're important, but we don't really pronounce them in any way, okay? So try to say it out loud yourself first. How do we say it? How do we say this word? Okay, ready? So that's how we say it. We say colleague, colleague. And I've got a question for you, okay? What am I doing in the first syllable? Colleague. I'm doing something very specific. I'm doing something very characteristic of the English language. Colleague. Colleague. What am I doing? Let me know in the comments. I'm wondering whether you can spot it and whether you know what it is. Yeah, the rule seems to be omit some letters and it will be fine. Yes, exactly. And yes, that's yes, of course, aspiration. What I'm doing is aspiration. After the K sound, yes, we've got aspiration, which means there's an extra puff of air that comes out of your mouth when you say the K sound, yeah? So we've got, it's not colleague. Listen to this. I'm wondering whether my microphone is actually picking it up. Colleague, colleague, colleague. Now, colleague, colleague, colleague. I'm wondering whether it's picking it up, but there's an extra puff of air. And when you listen to someone speak English and you think, oh, their English is really, really nice. I'm wondering what it is, right? Their pronunciation is really nice. Very often it's aspiration, okay? It's very often that's what it is, okay? So it's this thing that you can't put your finger on because you don't really notice it when someone speaks naturally, yeah? You need to be really listening for it. So your homework could be to listen to native speakers and notice any aspiration cases. So obviously there are certain rules when we apply aspiration and how we make it as well, because there's a particular reason why we do it, why English people do it. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, we don't really have time for it today, but it's very, very interesting. And I'm glad you can hear it as well. Good. So once again, say it with me, colleague. Colleague. Good. Let's go to the next one. I think this might be, hang on. No, aha, we've got another one. Another word that is quite tricky because it's the pronunciation is different in English, in British English, in American English, but in British English, we actually pronounce it the American way very, very often. And now take a look at these two IPA transcriptions, okay? It's quite funny because dictionaries, and this one was taken from the Oxford Learners Dictionaries online, okay? So this is the transcription that appears in a dictionary, but it's really, really out of date, yeah? It's really out of date because we don't really say schedule. Schedule. No, people don't say it like this anymore, okay? People say schedule. Schedule with a j sound, right? So these two sounds here, right, the d and the y sound, they basically, when they appear next to each other, they influence each other and really they merge. Yeah, they merge, the d sound and the y sound, they merge, they coalesce, if you want the technical term, and they create a new sound, j sound, right? J. So we don't say schedule, we say schedule because of yod coalescence, right? Yeah, if you want extreme example and you're a Friends fan, there was one episode with Joey and Gary Oldman. Yes, but this is an interesting one. So I think you're talking about plosives. So basically, there was this episode in Friends, right, where Joey was a star in a film, and he was saying things like, "I found the picture of my wife," but it was more about the sound being plosive, yeah, which means the air explodes out of your mouth rather than aspiration that comes from your throat. So it was more about the sound, the spitting sound, yeah, and the spitting that comes after the plosive sounds in English. So very good connection, absolutely, yes, absolutely. And it's quite interesting because it was a very sort of prominent, hang on, I'm just trying to do prominent pronunciation feature. Yeah, that's a really good thing. Yeah, so yes, so that's interesting, isn't it? So plosives are sounds that are, we call them stops as well, because the air is stopped in the mouth in various points in our mouth. It could be stopped, deep in your throat. It could be stopped at the lips. So the p sound, for example, it's a bilabial stop. Bilabial because two lips are taking part in creating the sound. So we close the lips, pressure builds behind the lips, yeah, and then we release it, and we can just go p, p, p. And there could be no aspiration, but the sound is still a plosive, yeah, but then we can add aspiration to it, and it's going to be an aspirated plosive, basically. Sorry, I'm getting really technical here. It's not about this today. I don't really mean to be, fully a phonetics freak. But yeah, that's what it is. So thank you so much. That was a good opportunity for me to geek out a bit. Right, so let's go back to schedule and schedule. So these two sounds, they merge and they become a j sound. So we say, normally we say schedule, right? But nowadays, younger people they're going to say schedule, like in the US. Yeah. So, for example, I say schedule because this is how people around me said it as well. I had some friends, quite old-fashioned friends, maybe, hopefully they're not watching this, but yeah, they would say schedule. And some people still say schedule in the UK, but a lot of young people, they say schedule, the American way. So if you want to say schedule, it's absolutely fine, yeah? But really, you won't find many people saying schedule in the US. So it doesn't work the other way round, yeah? Let's go to the next one. This is round 3, okay? The signed letter symmetry. So we've got the word subtelny. Po polsku mamy tam głoskę by. Subtelny. Oczywiście ją ubezdźwięczniamy i mówimy subtelny, bo mamy ty po głosce by, w związku z tym naturalnie ją ubezdźwięczniamy. Subtelny. But in English, we don't really have a b sound. So we don't say subtle, we say subtle. Oh, I forgot to ask you to say it first. Sorry. Bad Lucy. Subtle. Let's say it together. With a short sound. Subtle. Yes, so definitely not subtle. It's subtle. Not subtle. Good. Next one. This one is an interesting one because it actually entered the English language in the 14th century, maybe a bit earlier, but it actually came from the French word spelled dette with a double T, right? So it wasn't initially spelt with a B, okay? But then later, the scholars wanted to add the letter B into it because they wanted to show the origin, the Latin origin, because this word comes from the word I think it comes from the word debitum, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be a different related word to this word, but it came to English through French. It means that there was no B in the spelling initially, and it was added later, but the pronunciation stayed the same. So we don't say debit, we literally say debt. That's it, debt. Yeah. So that's an interesting word, I think. Good. Next one. How do we pronounce this one? Remember the silent letter, the silent L. So we don't have the L sound in here. How do we say this word? What do we say in here? Say it out loud. The stress is on the first syllable, yeah? And we say salmon. Yeah, so it's not salmon, there's no O sound as well. It's salmon. Next one. Obviously, pardon me, one of the most tricky words in English, okay? So we don't say Wednesday, we say And obviously we know how to pronounce it nowadays because of the TV show, right? So we say, how do we say it? Wednesday. Good. Next one. This one, okay? So in Polish, obviously this is szafka, yeah? The kind where you'd keep your mugs, for example, and your glasses and stuff like that. So we don't say cupboard, yeah? We don't say it like this. And take a look at the IPA transcription, right? We've got 2 syllables, and the second syllable, which is this one, yeah? It's not pronounced board, it's pronounced bud with a schwa. But my lips are barely moving, right? Bud. So we've got stress on the first syllable, cupboard, cupboard, cupboard. That's it. So it's not cupboard or anything like that. No, cupboard, cupboard. And are you noticing my aspiration as well? Ka. It's not ka. It's ka. Cupboard, cupboard. There's clear puff of air coming out of my mouth after the k sound. Good. Next one. This one is mad, okay? This one is crazy. I remember looking at this word and just going, I want to give up. Seriously, English, I just want to give up. I don't really want to learn English anymore. Just leave me the hell alone, yeah? Po polsku mamy jacht, oczywiście, but in English, it looks exactly the same, yeah? So we've got this Y here, which should be pronounced as y in English, right? But then we don't have yacht, we say yacht, yacht, tak jak polska litera J, yacht, yacht. It's not. Nie wiem nawet, jakby to mogło być inaczej wymówione, ale słyszałam właśnie wymowę w stylu przede wszystkim jacht i jacht. Ktoś, kto przeczytał to CH jako K, prawda? Robiąc taką generalizację. No, we skip the CH totally and completely, okay? We forget about it and we say yacht, yacht, yacht. Okay? Are you with me? Let me know in the comments if you're with me, okay? Because I need some feedback. I need some interaction. Just write something to me in the comments and I'm going to be happy. Yes, as Larry. Yes. Let's go to the next one. Obviously, this one, okay? How do we say this word? It's not kuewe. It's not kuewe. Nothing like that. Kiwi, I've heard kiwi as well. No, we don't do that, okay? We basically forget about all the letters but the first one. And we just pronounce the first letter, Q. 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 That's it. Nice IPA transcription here. Q. Yes, another French word. Yes. Q. 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 Yeah? Okay. I'm here. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, because it could be sometimes it is a bit lonely, but yes, very good. Thank you so much. So we just pronounced the first letter. So yeah, Zofia, I follow as well. Everything is awesome. FK, perfect. Camila, perfect. Really good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So basically, the way I like to think about it is we have the letter Q, and then we have all these other letters waiting in the queue. They're staying silent because they're just waiting. They're just not, they aren't doing anything. They're just waiting there. Yeah, that's it. So it just helps people remember better how to pronounce this word. So it's just one letter, Q, and the other letters are waiting in the queue. Good. Next one. Obviously classic. Rachunek, czy też paragon. In English, what is it? Can you say it out loud? Say it out loud. Try it. So the stress is on the second syllable, yeah? So it's like seat, like, you know, the seat I'm sitting in, yeah? Seat. That's it. We don't have a P sound in there. The letter P is silent. So we don't say seeped. No, we just say seat, seat. And then the first syllable is the very, very short. Receipt. Receipt. The stress on the second syllable. Receipt. Receipt. Yes, very good. Very, very good. Yes. The Q is waiting in the queue. Yes, exactly. Exactly, that is correct. Let's move on to the next one. We still have some words to go. Next word is, oh, this one, okay? A lot of people struggle with it, okay? Because we've got the r and l sounds next to each other, and that's a bit tricky. But really, this word is easy. Try to say it, okay? Try to say it. Okay, are we ready to go? So we've got r, r, roll, roll, rural, rural. Yeah, it just feels like we're not like we keep the lips rounded all the time. Rural, rural. Yeah, because that's the way it is. But it's just how we say it. Rural, 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 roll. The second bit, the r, l, yeah, we need to remember that there's a schwa, so it's not ral or rel, it's roll, roll. So you're kind of letting your tongue go from roll, yeah. So it needs to change the position from the r position to the l position, but you let it go briefly. So you can practice it by just letting it go. Yeah, so you go and then release the tongue to go flat. Yeah, so instead of going yeah, let it go briefly to so it lands at the bottom of your mouth, okay, just for a second, but you can make it longer when you practice. Can you see what's happening with my mouth? I hope you do. Yeah, so I'm not going from the r to l straight away. I'm letting it go for a brief second. So it's r, roll, roll. Yeah. Yes, very interesting. Try to follow all the tricks. Yes, please do, because it's going to help you. Some of them, not all of them are going to work for you specifically, but maybe no one's ever explained it to you this way, okay? So give it a try. Give it a go. Why not? So once again, rural, czyli oczywiście jakiś tam wiejski, prawda? Na przykład obszar. Rural area, for example. A rural area. Good. Next one. We've got wyraz, który oznacza browar, prawda? Ale browar w sensie takim produkcja piwa, produkcja browaru. So we've got, can you try and say it? Try and say it, okay? Some people forget that we don't pronounce the W as a V, because in Polish, obviously, we pronounce the letter W as V, tak jak wynajem, right? But in here, we don't say brewery or brewery, yeah? We actually say brew, because brew oznacza ważyć, czyli na przykład robić piwo, brew, albo można zaparzyć herbatę, brew your tea, tak? Czyli first we've got brew, and then we've got a little schwa, brewery, brewery, brewery. Brewery, brewery. So it's not brew there's no sound, there's a schwa, brewery, brewery. And remember that the schwa is very, very, very light and short. Okay, let's move on. Next, we've got wiewiórka. So the stress is on the first syllable. Yeah, we've got squirrel. And once again, we've got the same situation as with rural, right? So we've got the l, roll. So the first is squirrel, roll, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Okay, we need to pick up the pace a bit. Right, this word, hang on. Okay, so we moved to round 4. I completely forgot about it. I'm so sorry. So This is round 4, the tongue twister club, okay? So all the words that are a bit tricky to pronounce because the tongue goes, right? So sorry about that. I skipped my own round. Now, this word, it looks like it's got loads of different sounds, but really it only has 3 syllables, okay? Try to say it. Are you ready? So we've got the stress on the first syllable, and we say thoroughly, 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 czyli kompletnie, tak bardzo coś, nie wiem, przedyskutowaliśmy dogłębnie, thoroughly, thoroughly, with the th sound, thoroughly, thoroughly. Next one. How do we say this? Clothes. So we've got the sound. This is the voiced th sound. Clothes, right? But a lot of native speakers and a lot of advanced speakers of English, they say close, just like close the door. Yeah. So they don't bother with the th sound. They don't say clothes. They just say close, 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 or they go slightly for the th sound, but they don't release it. So they go clothes, clothes. Yeah. So it's not a fully pronounced th sound. Same with 6, right? So we've got the sixth, sixth. This one is a bit easier to pronounce than clothes, right? Because it's actually the other way around. So it's sixth. Yeah, it's a bit easier, but you need to say the s sound, 6, and then push the tongue out ever so slightly. 6. Yeah, good. Next one, months. So we've got the opposite situation. So we've got the th sound first, and then the s. 6. Month. Yeah. A lot of people don't bother with the th sound. Yeah. And they say months. Yeah. So it's like the tongue goes up for the th sound, but they say z instead. Months. Yeah. But if we want to be very, very careful, we go months. And the next one, we've got, how do we say it? Very similar to what we had before with the brewery. So that's very similar. How do we say this word? So the stress is on the first syllable, yeah? And we say jewelry. So it's not jewelry. No. It's jewelry. Once again, jewelry. Good. Now let's talk about vowel chaos. So this is round 5. So this is the last round, and then we're going to have the final boss as well. Okay. So vowel chaos, and we need to speak about the word chaos. Okay. So once again, it is a Greek origin word. Yeah. So the stress is on the first syllable. We've got aspiration. Chaos. So it's not chaos. I've heard it all. Okay. I've heard all pronunciations of this word, but it is chaos. Next one, another one spelled with ch but pronounced with a k sound. So this one is, how do we say it? It's not choir. I've heard it so many times pronounced as choir. No. We say choir. It's like quiet, yeah, but with an at the end, with a schwa at the end. So the choir is never quiet, yeah. So these two words are pronounced in a very, very similar way. Choir. like quiet. Yeah, choir, choir. Good. Next one. This one I hear pronounced as low all the time. I want to study low. No, 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 no. You want to study what? Law. Yeah, you want to study law. Because we don't have lawyers, we have lawyers. Yeah, lawyers. So it's law, law. We don't pronounce the letters AW as O in English. Yeah, so we don't say low, we say law, law. Very, very good. Are you counting your points? I hope you do. Okay, I hope you're counting your points because I want to know how many points you got at the end. Okay, so now here what we've got 4 words that are very, very often confused. So we've got the word niedźwiedź, broda, piwo i ptak. These 4 words are very often confused, but we need to remember that these 2 in the middle, czyli broda i piwo, are pronounced with the same vowel sound. Czyli możemy sobie wyobrazić, że ktoś ma na brodzie pianę z piwa. I te 2 wyrazy są wymawiane w bardzo podobny sposób, ponieważ broda to jest beard, ear, beard, beard. A piwo to beer, beer. Yeah? In American English, that's going to be different because they're going to say beard and beer, right? But in British English, in standard Southern British English, we say beard, yeah, beard, and also drinking beer, hopefully alcohol-free beer, right? So these 2 words are pronounced with the same vowel sound. The first one, niedźwiedź, is pronounced with the long air sound, bear, 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 okay, bear. Good. And the last word, okay, czyli ptak, is pronounced with the long sound, bird, bird, bird. Notice the difference between the vowel sounds. Bear, bear, niedźwiedź, air, ptak, bird, 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 bird. Yes, good. Now, these 2 words, okay, pierwszy wyraz to wyraz czas przeszły od wyrazu hear, czyli czas przeszły od słuchać, słyszeć, yeah? And the second one obviously means this, serduszko, prawda? Serce. So they're spelled in a very similar way, czyli mamy taką samą praktycznie pisownię, tylko różnica jest z tą jedną literą D i T na końcu, but their pronunciation is very different, okay? So the first one is heard, heard, with a sound, heard. And the second one is heart, with an R sound, heart, heart, heard, with a D, remember, heard, heart, heard, heart. Yeah? Got it? Good. Now, let's talk about our final bosses. So obviously one of them, yes, sorry, Renata, I missed your comment. Nice bear and bird with a long beard are drinking some beer. Oh, I love it. Once again, a nice bear and bird with a long beard are drinking some beer. Let's try it all together. Take a look at the screen and try to read the sentence, okay? Let's do it together. A nice bear and bird with a long beard are drinking some beer. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. FK, I'm really happy you're enjoying it and you're finding it useful. Brilliant. Thank you so much for letting me know. This one, okay? So obviously this word is a running joke, everywhere, because it's so difficult to pronounce because it's got so many syllables in the spelling. but we don't really pronounce all of these, okay? So this is the name of the county in the UK, tak? Czyli to jest nazwa po prostu hrabstwa, takiego województwa jakby w Anglii. So it is pronounced, look, Worcestershire, Worcestershire, Worcestershire. And the last bit, the sh bit, yeah, it's this one. So this word on its own is pronounced shire. Tak jak u Tolkiena, prawda? Mamy shire. But when it comes in a name of a county, we're going to say sh most of the time. Some people pronounce it shire as well, okay? Co to znaczy? Tutaj jest pytanie. Co to znaczy? To jest po prostu nazwa hrabstwa, nazwa województwa, tak? Ale od nazwy tego województwa pochodzi nazwa tego sosu, prawda? Czyli czasem słyszymy, że to jest Worcestershire sauce, tak? Albo jakieś Worcestershire sauce. Nie wymawia się tego w taki sposób, wymawia się na dwa sposoby. I teraz Barbara tutaj pisze, to nie jest Worcester sauce. I to jest ciekawe, bo niektórzy wymawiają, skracają to, pomijają całe to shire i mówią Worcester sauce i to jest absolutnie okej. Można powiedzieć Worcester sauce, tak? Worcester sauce. I każdy zrozumie, o co chodzi, ale oryginalna nazwa tego sosu, jak tutaj widzicie, to jest Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce, prawda? Czyli jest to sze jeszcze na końcu. I miałam taką dyskusję jakieś kilka miesięcy temu, byłam w Walii z moimi znajomymi, parą Anglików, i rozmawialiśmy sobie właśnie, oni wiedzą, że ja się zajmuję wymową i rozmawialiśmy sobie właśnie na temat wymowy różnych wyrazów, między innymi właśnie Worcestershire sauce i już nie pamiętam, które powiedziało co, ale jedno z nich powiedziało, że zawsze wymawia nazwę tego sosu jako Worcestershire z tą sylabą sze na końcu, a drugie powiedziało, że nigdy tak nie wymawia, tylko wymawia Worcester sauce. Więc to naprawdę zależy od osoby i my też możemy sobie wybrać, jeśli będziemy kiedykolwiek mówić o tym sosie, prawda, który w zasadzie nie jest takim gęstym sosem, jak nam się wydaje, tylko raczej taką ma konsystencję wodną jak sos sojowy, prawda, a bardzo popularny sos ogólnie w Wielkiej Brytanii, to możemy sobie wybrać, czy chcemy powiedzieć Worcestershire sauce, czy chcemy powiedzieć Worcester sauce. Both are absolutely correct and there's no problem with it, okay? So you can totally choose whichever way you want to say it. So once again, the full name is Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. And the shortened version is Worcester sauce. Worcester sauce. Remember about the sauce, yeah? It's not sauce, it's sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Good. Let's move on, okay? The next one, okay? This word, which means taki różnorodny, prawda? Możemy mieć na przykład szufladę pełną różnych dziwnych rzeczy i to właśnie możemy opisać takim słowem, prawda? How would you pronounce this word? Ilona, thank you so much. Dziękuję Ci bardzo serdecznie. Ilona jest właśnie kursantką w kursie wymowy. Dzięki kursowi u Lucy te słowa już nie są dla mnie straszne. Zaczynając nawet nie słyszałam swoich błędów. To prawda, wiele osób nie słyszy też swoich błędów, prawda? Tak to jest. Dzięki Ilona za taką opinię. Okay, so... jest mój faworyt. Lubię to. Jest mój faworyt. Chyba połamię sobie język. Yes, let's try it. Spróbujmy sobie połamać język. First of all, we need to find the main stress. Okay? Let's find the main stress. The main stress is on lay. Okay? We can see it here. Sorry, that was, so we can see this apostrophe here, and that indicates that this syllable, the following syllable, is the stressed one. Yeah? So the first two syllables, the first two syllables are weaker, okay? The first syllable has the secondary stress, but we don't worry about it too much, okay? We just say misser, like miss a lane, miss a lane. So we say miscellaneous, right? Remember, we don't say nies, we say nies. Miscellaneous, miscellaneous, miscellaneous. Let's say it together. Miscellaneous, miscellaneous. Oli pyta, czy mieszkam w Anglii. W tej chwili nie. Mieszkałam w Anglii przez prawie 12 lat, a w tej chwili mieszkam w pięknej Polsce od paru lat. Okay, so once again, miscellaneous, miscellaneous. Next one, final boss. This one is świadomość in Polish, right? So świadomość, how do we pronounce it? We need to locate the main stress. Always, in long words, we always need to locate the main stress, okay? So we've got the main stress on the first syllable here. Con, with aspiration, remember, con. Next we've got shus with a schwa, shus. And the last syllable, nus. So we've got consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Remember, it's not shes or she's, and it's not ness, it's nus. Very, very light, nus. Consciousness. Okay, brilliant. Next one, once again, we need to locate the main stress. Okay, so the main stress is tick. And when you look at the IPA transcription, okay, we don't have any r sounds in here. Okay, we don't have any r sounds. Okay, we don't pronounce any r sounds in the standard British English pronunciation. So standard Southern British pronunciation, there's no r sound in this word, even though it appears twice in the spelling. The letter R appears twice in the spelling, but we don't really pronounce it. That's the way it is. Okay, so what do we do in here? We've got the main syllable, which is tick. The first syllable is p. That's it. P. It's like you want to say the p sound, but then you attach just a little p. Tick. Li. Simple, right? Particularly. So you've got the li. Particularly. Now, a lot of British people, they shorten this word even more, and they say particularly instead of particularly. So they skip one syllable, because in English we shorten everything. Remember what I said at the beginning, yeah? We shorten everything, and sometimes we remove syllables, especially the ones that contain the schwa sound, yeah? So a lot of people say particularly, yeah? And the last word for today, sorry, I can see that you're requesting some words, but actually we need to wrap it up now. So this is the last word for today. It's actually the word wymowa, right? How do we pronounce this word? We need to locate the main stress, yeah? So the main stress is A. We've got Asian, yeah? The first syllable, it's not pro, it's pr with a schwa. None. Remember about this. None. Tak jak zakonnica, prawda? None. To nie jest noun. To nie jest pronunciation, tylko pronunciation. Yeah? Not pronunciation. Tylko czasownik to wymawiać będzie pronounce, right? a nie pronounce, więc stąd się bierze ta this confusion, prawda, czyli ta pomyłka. Pronunciation, ale wymawiać czasownik to pronounce. I now pronounce you husband and wife, right? But the noun, czyli rzeczownik, to pronunciation. So I teach pronunciation. Yeah? I teach how to pronounce words in English. Okay? Dobrze, słuchajcie, dziękuję Wam bardzo serdecznie. To już by było na tyle i dzięki, że byliście tutaj ze mną. Bardzo serdecznie Wam dziękuję. I słuchajcie, ja oczywiście chciałabym Wam przypomnieć, i tutaj jeszcze jest, że szkoda, że na kursach nauki języka angielskiego nikt nie uczy wymowy. Właśnie dlatego ja tej wymowy uczę, bo przychodzą do mnie ludzie, przychodziło do mnie bardzo wiele osób, które po prostu chciały się tej wymowy uczyć i dlatego ja uczę tej wymowy, więc jeśli chcecie się nauczyć wymowy, a jeszcze nie jesteście w moim kursie wymowy, zapraszam Was bardzo, bardzo serdecznie, na kurswymowy.pl. Wciąż mamy niższą cenę na start, Ja wrzucam Wam tutaj jeszcze link w komentarzu, więc możecie sobie kliknąć. Słuchajcie, to jest mega, mega kompleksowy kurs wymowy, Przechodzimy przez wszystkie głoski języka angielskiego, przez wszystkie zasady, przez wszystkie zależności pomiędzy pisownią a głoską, przechodzimy przez connected speech, czyli taką mowę łączoną, szybką mowę, płynną mowę. Po prostu to jest niesamowicie kompleksowy kurs, który daje Wam całą tę wiedzę i całą praktykę, którą potrzebujecie, żeby mieć naprawdę fajną wymowę i nie robić błędów, takich jak tutaj Ilona pisała, takich błędów, których często nawet nie słyszymy. I tutaj dzięki po prostu za taki komentarz, że to jest najlepszy kurs wymowy dla Polaków. Naprawdę jest to ogromny miód na moje uszy i starałam się, żeby był on rzeczywiście jak najbardziej kompleksowy. I bardzo, bardzo się cieszę, bardzo się cieszę, widzę, że tutaj jest więcej poleceń też, naprawdę niesamowicie się cieszę i bardzo dziękuję. Rozpoznaję teraz zobaczyłam większą miniaturkę, cześć, oczywiście rozpoznaję kursantki, naprawdę bardzo, bardzo Wam dziękuję za dzisiaj i jeśli chcecie dołączyć do kursu wymowy, a jeszcze nie jesteście, to zapraszam Was z całego serca, ponieważ ja mówię, że to jest majowa edycja, bo ludzie zaczęli dołączać w maju do tej edycji, prawda, ale jeszcze można dołączać. Pierwsze spotkanie na żywo dla tej edycji będzie na początku lipca, więc będziecie mieć dość czasu, żeby przerobić ten materiał, który powinniście przerobić, bo my się spotykamy raz w miesiącu na spotkaniach na żywo. Każda edycja ma kilka spotkań takich samodzielnych, a potem łączymy się z większą grupą. Więc zapraszam Was bardzo, bardzo serdecznie i niesamowicie dziękuję. Jeśli chcecie opanować te wszystkie samogłoski, TH, wiecie, różnice pomiędzy i oraz czy różnice pomiędzy a i o, jeśli zależy Wam po prostu na świetnej wymowie, na naprawdę dobrym akcencie w języku angielskim też, bo ja zawsze mówię, że to nie do końca jest kurs akcentu, jest to kurs wymowy, ale oczywiście akcentu też się nabiera, bo słuchacie mnie, słuchacie tego, jak ja mówię, ja uczę oczywiście mojego własnego akcentu, tego akcentu, którym mówię, który jest Modern RP albo Standard Southern British English, prawda? Tego akcentu właśnie uczę, więc siłą rzeczy również tego akcentu nabieracie, ucząc się z moim kursem. Widzę, że Angelika też tutaj pisze, świetny kurs, jestem w trakcie. Dzięki Angelika, i bardzo mi miło w ogóle, super, bardzo, bardzo się cieszę. Tak, więc zawsze możecie też zadać mi pytania, macie też w kursie bonusy różnego rodzaju, macie certyfikat ukończenia, macie interaktywną platformę, która działa też na aplikacji, na telefon, więc możecie sobie po prostu oglądać lekcje i ćwiczyć na telefonie. Są lekcje wideo z bardzo dokładnym wytłumaczeniem każdego dźwięku i porównaniem z dźwiękami polskimi oraz dźwiękami amerykańskimi też, bo często ludzie nie słyszą tego, że tak naprawdę ich wymowa jest amerykańska, a jeśli chcą mieć wymowę brytyjską, no to po prostu muszą na tym trochę, muszą to usłyszeć przede wszystkim, prawda? No i różnice pomiędzy głoskami polskimi a angielskimi, bo często się wydaje, że co to za różnica a czy o, albo a, prawda? Jaka to jest różnica? A to jest spora różnica, jeśli chcemy brzmieć po angielsku. Więc jeśli waszym celem jest świetna angielska wymowa, chcecie mówić swobodnie, chcecie nie mieć problemów z rozumieniem ze słuchu też, bo wymowa to nie tylko to, co wychodzi nam z paszczy, ale też to, co wchodzi nam uszami. Jeśli nie wiemy, jak wymawiane są dane słowa, jak wymawiane są dane głoski, to po prostu ich nie usłyszymy i finito, i koniec, prawda? Zapraszam Was bardzo, bardzo serdecznie. kurswymowy.pl. Zapraszam i hopefully see you on the platform. Dzięki serdeczne. Agata, Asia, Edyta, best teacher ever, thank you so much. Barbara, studia się przypominają, tak, zdecydowanie. Agnieszka, thank you so much. Kamila, dziękuję. Dziękuję Wam bardzo, bardzo serdecznie. Tak, ja też jestem rocznik 8.6, Barbara tutaj mówi, jestem rocznik 8.6. Jeden z najlepszych roczników, prawda? Każdy tak o swoim roczniku mówi. Słuchajcie, dziękuję serdecznie i do zobaczenia. Jeśli macie jakiekolwiek pytania na temat kursu, dawajcie znać. On jeszcze będzie w obecnej cenie przez jakiś czas, ok? Ale im szybciej dołączycie, to oczywiście tym więcej czasu po prostu, tym szybciej zaczniecie, no to próbuję powiedzieć. A potem ta cena idzie w górę, prawda? Bo też ta cena właśnie jest w tej chwili taka promocyjna na start, następnie ta cena pójdzie w górę, a potem zamykamy dostęp do tej edycji tak w ogóle, więc kolejna edycja dopiero za kilka miesięcy. Pozdrawiam Was bardzo serdecznie, wszystkiego dobrego, take care, see you soon, bye!